Hi everyone, and welcome to Trades of the Week with myself and no other than Keith Sullivan. Now, we're excited today because there's so much happening in the market. I know I always say that, but that is the case. And today we'll be speaking about the two indicators that might make or break the market in the coming weeks here. Well, this week we'll know a lot more about it. So stay tuned for that update. Now, before we dive into it, what I would like to just show you is for you to join our Facebook group, our I Am Insider Facebook group, which is exclusively for the people that are in the group, of course, where we share free content such as Crypto of the Week, Stock of the Week, weekly market updates, so you can be on track on what's happening in the market. So the link will be somewhere around here. So make sure you join it now before it's too late. All right. So with that being said, let's dive into it. So if we have a look at the trades we had from last week, we got stopped out of ACI, Albertson Companies, and it was at break even. We moved the stop loss to break even, so a really tiny profit there just to cover the cost. But yes, stopped out of that. The other one is BHF. And we got stopped out, and we saw this really this company was watching us, right? Because we had a spike up, it pulled us out, and then it came down to a profit. Great. So that's not a move, but rather a boo. Not great. This is Keith's fault. And looking at the next one, we have LRN. We are actually in 2% profit. So if we close this, we're going to be in profit this week, but we won't because this could carry on going up. So stop loss is put at 1%. So congratulations if you put this on as well. Now, the other two here, we're still in. We got really close. I've never been this close. I've been stopped out, but you can see here, we have a small distance between the stop loss here and the price yesterday. So hopefully that will now reverse higher. So if you're not in Molson Coors Beverage Company or TAP, then you can do your research now and get into at a better price than we did. And then we have two new ones for this week as well. But before we jump into those, Keith, what is happening in the market and what are these two catalysts that might make or break the market?
Yeah, perfect. So obviously last week we had a bit of a bearish move in the market, and that was all down to the CPI, Consumer Price Index announcement, which basically showed that inflation, even though it has decelerated and began to decrease, actually is still relatively high compared to what analysts believed. So with that being said, it's now taken us into this new week where we've got one big announcement which will be happening on Wednesday, and that is the Federal Reserve interest rate hike. So what is the Fed going to do with interest rates? Are they going to hike it by 75 basis points? And that's what analysts now believe, and maybe this has been priced into the market. Or are they going to look to be even more bullish or hawkish on this and increase it higher? We don't know. So that is at 2 p.m. Eastern time, which is 7 p.m. UK time, that announcement will come out from Jerome Powell. So with that being said, we could expect somewhat of a bit of a volatile market where we have been seeing over the last few days commodities, your major indices begin to show bearish tendencies and fall lower. And that is coupled with a strengthening dollar, so showing us that money is moving out of the market and being held as dollars. So that's the first thing to really look at. So what is going to happen? Now, if they do increase interest rates, we can expect two things. Number one, we can expect a decrease in the market. That's just natural. There's a bit more fear. People will sell out. They'll panic against the news. And with that, we need to be more liquid with our VCAs. So we need to make sure we have enough money to keep buying as the market drops. And we also need to favor our short positions because with them, we are expecting the market to fall lower. So that's the first thing. The second catalyst, which could affect the market, maybe not as much in my opinion, is all about jobless claims. And this is going to show us how strong is the unemployment in the US. And Joe Biden really stands by this, going, unemployment is the lowest it has been for decades. And he is very adamant that him and his party are improving the economy, and it's just a process. And this is where we're now going to start seeing what is going to happen in the market over the next few days. Once again, if we see a bearish move in the market because of this, we are going to look at more liquidity when it comes to VCA, so being able to buy at lower prices and also favoring our short positions because we are going to be on a bit more of a bearish bias depending on what happens in the market. Now, if we have a look on the screen, we've got the dollar index, the DXY. And what we are seeing here is the dollar actually has been ranging the last few days. And this is because there's a bit of uncertainty on what is actually going to happen. So we've seen a bit of a sideways movement. Now, if we see the dollar break higher, we're then going to expect our indices and commodities continue to push lower. If we see the dollar break lower in strength, that will give us the interpretation that money's moving back into our markets and indices, and we would then expect a bullish move here. So we can't know what's going to happen because we don't have that crystal ball from Amazon just yet, but we need to be able to not somewhat predict, but have an educated guess on where the market could potentially go. And this is why we use structure accompanied with what the news is coming out. Okay, so if once again we see Federal Reserve causes a bearish move in the market, we expect a push up of the dollar, then we know where the market is going to go down to. So Dennis, anything else to add on that?
Well, I mean, in terms of knowing where the market's going to go, speak for yourself. On the other hand, I have a crystal ball. It's just around the corner there. But no, nothing real to add besides from that. We're just waiting to see what direction it's going to take. But the market will be bullish until it's not. So the dollar will be bullish until it's not anymore. And I would say the real test of that is a break from this channel here. A little bit like we got over here. So here we had a similar movement to the downside, and then we got a break of this channel, and that started the upward trend. So as soon as we break that channel, if we look at the other major index, the US 100, as soon as we break that channel, then this will start reversing as well. So we need to break that channel as well here so we can start trading to the upside. Now, we have found a little bit of a bottom just in a shorter time frame. Let's see if we are able to push higher from that, but that is yet to be seen. And since really with the announcements, it can go either way. It might make or break the market. And because of that, we are getting into HAL, putting an order on this. And one key reason for this is because the fundamentals of this company, I can show you quickly, are incredible. So this trend line has been intact, not only for here, but if we can drag it back even further, it's been intact for many, many months. So I think with this reversal yesterday, it's looking interesting. No one knows the future, of course. But looking at Halliburton, you can see here that they have no debt, is undervalued looking at the PEG ratio, great earnings per share next 5 years, and good numbers of utility of their money. So I think it actually does look really interesting. Even analysts are saying it should be worth a little bit more than it is. So they're raising their estimates up to 41.6. Doesn't really need to mean anything, but I think the probabilities are this might increase in value. The other one I want to add is Shake Shack, which is a tech company to my understanding, and we are on a downward channel here. And I think as well here, if we can break the consolidation here in the shorter time frame, this one here, and stop loss above, I think this could do really well going down. So it really has a little bit of a downward bias. We do have a level of support here, but resistance is pushing lower. So it does seem like that might be broken. So let's see how that plays out. So those are the buffaloes. And in terms of cryptos, oh boy, that's a lot of things happening in cryptos. Now, if we look at cryptos, the first and foremost, we are seeing here that we are at extreme greed at the moment, or extreme fear at the moment. And you know what they say, right? In the words of Warren Buffett, Keith,
when others are fearful, it's our time to be greedy.
Exactly, right? But we do need to be greedy with a strategy, of course, which is what we're utilizing. So it gives you a signal that it might be a good time to start buying. And yesterday we saw another reversal. The price dropped down and then came back up. Let's see if that can be sustained. So we have a consolidation here where the market is going sideways, basically, of Bitcoin, which will determine the rest of the market as well. So we had a similar scenario up here where it's just been bouncing like a JoJo up and down. And now let us see how it plays out this time. So currently we need to see if we get a solid breakout. Now, if we do break out from this level here, I think the Fed meeting is correlated with the stock market. So the Fed meeting will determine that as well. And if we do break this level, I do think the next level of support will probably be around, well, between the 15 and 14 or $12,500 mark. So somewhere in the region of this could be a good accumulation zone. And in terms of the strategy we're using, what you can see here is we're down 70% so far. So that would only mean we get in at the 80% drop. And in the worst case, even the 90% drop. So have your orders ready. So unless we reverse higher, and I would say breaking this top here, we could expect some more downside in the shorter term. Now, there are a couple of news I do want to get out there. I know that Keith can probably share a couple of things here with the Ripple, but XRP has really been going down, of course, together with the market the last couple of of months. And you can see here it's down 70%, a little bit lower it went. But what's interesting here is that Ripple might actually win the case with SEC. So they have been, for those of you who are new to the channel, they've been under investigation from SEC that they're a security and not really a utility. And they're looking to win that case, and the price has been really suppressed by that, by the case. So if they win, I think we can see some more upside in XRP as well, being down 70%, great entry point if you're not in. And speaking about good news, Amazon actually came out, right? They came out that they have been chosen by the European Central Bank alongside other companies to help developer user interfaces, which intended for the digital euro. So what does this mean? Well, we know that these CBDCs, or central bank digital currencies, are coming out left, right, and center from China. US is looking into it, and even the European Union as well. So that could really trigger a new phase of a bull market, because if people get more used to digital currencies, well, then cryptos are part of that as well. So I think it will gain to the awareness of crypto, which is great news. And then we have two merges that are happening. So one of them is Cardano. So we could briefly look at Cardano here as well, because Cardano, run by Charles Hoskins, they are actually now looking at improving the scalability of their network. So Cardano being down, they were really the same amount, right? Over 84, 90% could be a good one to be looking at, since they are now upgrading their whole ecosystem in order to be more scalable. So I think that's going to be really, really interesting to see how that plays out. So development is certainly happening all across the board. And also looking at Ethereum merge, right? You probably have heard of that by this point. And there's two standpoints here. One, it was very successful, which is great news for the ecosystem in general. However, they are actually now, there's a question out there that, okay, so will the SEC investigate Ethereum as well? Because Ethereum might be a security as well. So there are some divided attentions here, which is why other people are now investing into other blockchains, such as Solana, Solana, Cardano, and other similar ones. The EWAX is another one that might be doing well. So just be diversified. Don't put your eggs in one basket, because no one really knows the future. But this is the first point. So the fees will not get lower yet, but what's going to happen is that this upgrade has enabled a lot of new upgrades to come, which will probably be implemented in the next couple of months. So the last couple of points here then. So when we see price going down, development going up, would you say that's bullish or bearish, Keith?
Well, it's a sign that there's going to be bullish momentum in the future. Short term, we're seeing bearish moves down, but longer term, we can expect accumulation at the bottoms and somewhat of a push higher.
Exactly, because all the projects are building. So if we have Cardano, we have, well, among others, right? FTT as well, the FTX exchange. They're acquiring companies all over the place to really increase their holding, increase their position in the market. So this being down 72%, we're adding another entry on this, which is awesome. It's also down at a level of support. So I think this could be a great addition to the portfolio as well. Another one, just because, you know, it's down 88%, the Decentraland, which is one of the biggest and first metaverses out there. We definitely think metaverses are the future. A lot of investors are looking into this, and a lot of developers as well, how we can create the best virtual reality. And I think being down over 90%, I think Mana is, or 88%, I think Mana is a good one to look into as well with the small cap strategy. And as you see here in the last bull market, we took profits all the way up to 500%, which is great. Then we have STX as well. STX, because Bitcoin is obviously the first and biggest blockchain out there. And some people do argue that the projects that can build a DeFi, because with all the uncertainty in the world, we have inflation, we have the banks, can they be trusted? The interest rates are getting higher as well. So a lot of people might be turning into decentralized finance. And STX is decentralized finance on Bitcoin. So I think that it can do really well as well over time. That's what we think. And being down from the high 90%, we think this could be a really, really interesting and good opportunity here as well. So do your research, but we think STX is another project that can do well over time. So anything to add there, Keith, or otherwise we jump swiftly into the VCA?
No, so what you said was 100% correct. Interesting news coming out around the Ripple case. Now, obviously, the SEC are fighting Ripple, saying they made their money from selling of their security. And XRP are saying, no, we made it through general supply and demand of the market. So the SEC have basically now stepped forward and went, we need a decision now. This case has gone on too long. You judge, I think it's Judge Hatburn, you must make a decision on whether they've done it legally or illegally against what our regulations are. And so with that being said, we can expect somewhat of an outcome near the end of this year. Now with XRP, they've got a lot of, as you said, Dennis, personal development behind them in regards to development of the project. And they're going to be one of the main tokens that are going to be used for the new ISO 222 standard, I think it is, which basically is a revamp of the old Stripe payment method in the US. So a lot of interesting developments there. Now with crypto, it's still a time of accumulation. We've seen a healthy correlation at this moment in time with what's actually going on with the stock market and the economy. So we're seeing reactions like that when we see the stocks go down and the economy, obviously dollar goes up, we see cryptos come down. So now we know what we need to be doing when it comes to accumulating and accumulating the right projects. Okay, now make sure you are diversified, but don't over diversify. So meaning you are not liquid enough to follow the strategies. That's the only thing that I would have to say there, because if we do fall lower, we're going to have a lot more opportunities to buy.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. That's the whole key, right? To have a strategy and then let time do the heavy lifting. So looking at the VCA strategy, we can see with FedEx, it fell down a bit. We're adding a new entry at -49. So it came down on earnings. We think they will do well over time as well. And Intel, the same, we add another entry there, -54%. The same with the Meta or Facebook, down 61% from its high, right? They're really getting hammered, these companies. And the same with Medifast, -50% from its high as well, adding another entry there. Same with Adobe, -55% from its high. A lot of them had quite interesting drops in the market at the same day, but I think this will do well over time. This is a longer term strategy. Same with Stephen Madden or ticker SHOE, also down roughly 40%. And then we have Garmin down 50% from its high, also good fundamentals. So we think it's a matter of time before they go up. But yes, we are adding to that as well. So the one we're adding for this week is Johnson & Johnson, -10% from its high. Now, if you look back, why are we entering at -10%? Because in history, even back when Corona happened, it only fell down 30%. So it's one of the absolutely safest companies in the world that we think they will we think they will do really well over time. Like in the worst bear markets, they fall 40, maybe 50%. So getting in at -10% as a first, I think would be really good. So they have now unveiled as well a new 5 billion share buyback program as well. And what's really what's gonna happen then is they are buying back $5 billion worth of share, which is a great piece of news, because if the management are buying back that much in the company, that really means they believe in the company, of course. But being the world leader in their field, the pharmaceutical group as it is, that's just really positive. So that being said, everyone, that's the one we're adding, and I really hope you enjoyed the updates this week. And before we really wrap this up, I would like to just go into the results as well. So let's have a look here if we can get those up and running. All right. So looking at the results here, what you can see is that we were minus 1% on the Buffalo. So that's a boo, right? But the VCA, small cap CCA are hovering around the same levels. We've been adding to our entries, and then there will be a time for sowing the seeds, right? And then a time for reaping the rewards at a later point as well. And that's definitely what we're waiting for. And our field is becoming quite large now, but that's just how it's going to be. So that being said, everyone, really hope you enjoyed the update this week and that you got a lot of valuable information. Please comment below if you like what you're seeing, or if you would like to see something else. Just comment below and we would like to accommodate what you think. And now don't forget as well that the I Am Facebook group, right? Make sure the I Am Insider Facebook group, that you join that group, because you get live market updates, live crypto updates, you get live stock of the week as well. So make sure you join that to get exclusive content only for our I Am Insider subscribers. All right. So that being said, everyone, really hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and press that alarm bell so you get notifications whenever we launch a new video. And from Keith, well, I don't know for you, Keith, but from myself, the whole team, from Keith, have a great week. And we look forward to seeing you in the next trades of the week.